Hello everybody, in this video I'd like to talk about the difference between benign and malignant tumours. Now, when in Key Stage 4 typically looking at cancer, you would learn about these two terms, benign and malignant. Now, these are terms that can be used to describe tumorous growths, but only one of them means cancerous, and that's malignant. Benign actually does not mean cancer. So in this video we're going to outline a little bit about the cause of cancer and the difference between these two terms. Now, if we just think of, I'm just going to draw very roughly here a piece of DNA. This is a rough sketch of DNA, and I'm hoping that we can recall that we have a sugar phosphate backbone. So this double helix strand is made of sugar and phosphate, and we have between those strands our bases, our nitrogenous bases, the letters A, T, C and G. Now there's a reason why I'm starting this video talking about the structure of DNA, because it's essential in understanding the cause of cancer. Now, there could be a mutation in the base sequence in our genetic code. And that mutation could result in the cell either producing incorrect proteins in the processes of transcription and translation, or it might cause increased cell growth and proliferation. Now, in this video, I'm not going to delve into the different types of mutations that you can get and the role of what are called oncogenes and tumour suppressor genes, because cell proliferation and division is ultimately controlled by these particular genes, and I'm going to talk more in detail about those in a separate video. I just wanted to really highlight the point that mutations can occur and change this DNA, often just spontaneously, and that can give rise to cancer, which we define as an uncontrolled proliferation of cells. So what we have over to the right of this image that I've just drawn of the DNA, we have here a video that I'm just playing of breast cancer cells that are dividing. If we note, especially in this region here, how rapidly those cells are multiplying. So I've done a video on mitosis and normal cell division. What we have here is uncontrolled mitosis, if you like, cell division at a rate beyond the normal as a result of mutation. And that can give rise to two types of tumours, benign and malignant. So let's think about the difference between a benign and malignant tumour. So a benign tumour is still a growth caused from a proliferation of cells. But two things really underline benign tumours. They do not invade surrounding tissue. That's key. They do not invade surrounding tissue. So benign tumours tend to have a fixed shape. So they don't invade surrounding tissue, and they do not what's called metastasize, which is another way of saying spread. So benign tumours don't spread and don't invade surrounding tissues. So they tend to have a fixed shape. So a benign tumour could look like this, for example. This could be a tumorous growth with a very clear border, a very defined fixed edge that won't spread. Now that is a benign tumour, and that is not, by definition, cancer as we come to understand it. When we think about cancer, what we're describing are malignant tumours. So I'm just going to reduce the screen down here. what we're thinking when we think about cancer are malignant tumours. And malignant tumours are defined by, again, two clear things. They do invade surrounding tissue. So because of that, benign tumours, I wouldn't be able to draw this kind of picture that we had up here because it invades into surrounding tissue. It has no real fixed shape. In fact, I'll just put that here. No fixed shape. And the second key thing is that they do metastasize, which, as I said, means spread. Now, the main reason cancer can be difficult to cure is that it can spread to a different part of the body from where it started. Now, the cancer that grows where it first started, we tend to call the primary cancer, and then we refer to the secondary cancer or the metastasis as the place where the cancer has spread to. Now, in order for cancer to spread, for a malignant tumour to be spread around the body, some cells from that primary cancer need to break away and travel to another part of the body and start to grow and proliferate there. And cancer cells do not stick together as well as normal cells do. And they can actually start to produce substances that help them to move. But there are three main ways that a cancer spreads, and I'm not going to go into detail about each one specifically. It's just to really make the point or look at the difference between a benign and malignant tumour. So in terms of a malignant tumour, it can spread through locally, so directly growing through nearby body tissues, through the blood circulation, and also through what's called the lymphatic system, and can pass into circulating lymph fluid, and then pass ultimately from a lymph node to another, anywhere in the body. So they're the key differences between benign and malignant tumours. Benigns don't invade surrounding tissue and do not metastasize, so they have a fixed shape. Malignant tumours do invade surrounding tissue and can therefore metastasize and spread. Now, to finish, I just want to really focus on this particular graph that I've included in this video. So what we've got here is on the x-axis the years of smoking, and scientists have studied the relative risk of lung cancer according to duration and intensity of smoking in men. So they have three distinct lines, the dark blue being 20 or more cigarettes, the light blue 10 to 19 cigarettes, and the black less than 10 cigarettes a day. And they found a link, interesting, or the better word perhaps is correlation between the number of cigarettes smoked and the relative risk of lung cancer. Now we can't clearly say from this graph that smoking causes lung cancer. We can't say a causal relationship. Nowhere does it explicitly say one causes the other. But we can see a correlation, a link between these two. And there are certain risk factors and things that can predispose us to developing cancerous tumours, malignant tumours. And in that, I'll talk about that in a separate video, so risk factors for particular cancers. Okay, hope all that helps.